Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs and welcome back to the Minecraft Survival Guide. I hope you guys are having a good day. Today we are back at the trading hall and today we are going to do a lot more work on this place. I am really excited to get the villagers in here and have some place for them to hang out and trade with me permanently. So I kind of want to work on the interior and stuff today. We might get a little bit of the roof done as well. Basically, the goal for today is to get a bunch of villager trading booths where they can happily hang out and wait for me to come along and trade with them. I want to up the villager population in here, and I want to make sure that we can get the villager integration process, as we can get the zombified and newly discounted villagers out of this system and into new places in the trading hall, which is going to be a bit of a job, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting them all situated in here, and there's a limit to how much of that we can do automatically, because a lot of the automation side of things is probably going to be easier if you don't have a curved building like this. So I'm probably going to do a fair amount of the villager sorting and stuff manually, but in future episodes we can always take a look at how that can be done a bit more automatically. And if you have been paying attention, if you're interested in doing some automation stuff, moving mobs around is really not all that difficult. You need minecart rails, you need water streams, stuff like that, but really it's all here. Like, we've done stuff like this in the series before. I also want to make sure we take an approach to lighting that doesn't involve torches all over the ground, but yeah, first of all, we need to figure out the materials we're going to use in here, and we're going to plan out a bit of the interior first. So I think I definitely want some sort of circular or maybe oval floor down here, which maybe has a fountain or a tree or some sort of feature piece in the middle. Imagine like the centerpiece of a shopping center, and that's basically what I'm after at this point. There aren't going to be any villagers here. That's just going to be like an ornamental piece in the center. Something nice to look at as you walk through the front door. And as you go up these stairways to sort of balcony sections and other parts of the trading hall, that is where you're going to start finding the villagers. That's where the trading booths are going to be. So it'll involve a little bit of walking around to get to each of the villagers, but that's not going to be bad considering that they've got pretty decent discounts. We might also want to consider putting a zombie somewhere in this system and having it be something we can enable and disable. Something that a zombie can pop up behind them and re-zombify them in the event that we want to lower their discounts again. Because as you may have seen, discounts will kind of reduce over time. And by reduce, I don't mean the price goes down. The price actually goes back up again. And right now, this guy who was selling me an Unbreaking 3 book for 1 emerald is now selling me an Unbreaking 3 book for 5, which still is a really great deal, but ultimately is not the cheapest it can be. Likewise, with some of the other villagers that we have around here, I think this librarian guy over here is a good example. He is selling me an Efficiency 4 book, but he hasn't discounted it all the way because it started at quite a high price. So he's only giving me that for 25 emeralds, which obviously could be a little bit less. And so what we can do about that is, brutally, to zombify them again. And that will actually reduce the prices even more. So potentially, if we want to, we can include some means by which the villager can be re-zombified in this place and allow them to, be affected by that again and cure them manually inside of here rather than with the automatic system outside to reduce the prices and get us even better deals on the trades. And there are already plenty of trading hall designs out there that accommodate stuff like that. Logical Geek Boy's design is one that is worth looking up if you want a trading hall with nice clean lines, straight walls, and a zombie lurking in the background waiting to zombify these guys. But yeah, I think we'll try and integrate some of that. We will build with that in mind, even if we don't implement that today. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and get on with some of this. It's going to be fun to decorate the interior of this, and you know what? We might be able to do some of that in the form of a time lapse. Hey folks, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. Take a look at this place now. I really like how the interior is going. I still need to do a little bit of work here and there, but I thought I would cut in here to do a little bit of moving around of the villagers, because as you can see up here on either side of this oval-shaped balcony area, we have a few little areas where I'm going to be positioning the librarians. And as I mentioned at the start of the episode, I kind of want to leave a gap behind here for a zombie to roam around and potentially re-zombify some of these villagers if we need to extend our discounts a little more. So I've got a sizable area behind here that I think we're just going to install a zombie at some point and let it roam around freely behind here and have some means to move the villagers up and down in the space with, say, pistons or something like that. So it was really just marking out the areas where I expect the villagers to stand for now, but we might have them raised up a little bit, or maybe, I don't know if we can drop the ceiling really back here. We've got a 4-block high ceiling. I think maybe we could do that if we needed to, but behind each of these walls down here is really where I want to have the other occupations of villagers, and maybe we'll even end up cutting a little doorway kind of thing through some of these sections of cyan terracotta so we can have a means to get into different areas. I'm not sure if I want to section all of these off or just have them kind of separated out into little areas where I can expect to find a bunch of different booths of villagers to trade with. But the tree in the middle I'm really quite happy with, actually. I thought I would go for a different style of tree this time, and yeah, I think it's not bad for a first attempt. The leaves are a little bit messy. I did run out of birch leaves and wanted to, you know, mix in a couple of different leaf types. I'm not entirely convinced about that yet, not quite sure that it works, but I like the shape of the tree overall, kind of inspired a little bit by a mangrove tree, or those kind of like, yeah, the types of trees that grow in swamps and have their roots in the water. And this was one of the types of tree, thinking about yesterday's video where we kind of simulated some stuff that was going to be in an upcoming update to Minecraft. Mangrove trees were mentioned in one of the changes they want to make to swamps in future, so I thought I would get ahead of the curve there as well and do something a little bit more like that. It's a little bit thick in places, could do with a little bit of refinement and some more leaves here and there, but I quite like it as a centerpiece for this place. It certainly stands out compared to the other custom trees we've made, and I think it actually looks quite nice when you're walking around here at floor level. So now what I really want to do is move these villagers out of their little pods here and up to the areas where they are going to be trading. Specifically the librarians I'll move up here, but we'll probably also move around the farmer, and I think we had another villager profession in here, I forget which. And right now they are locked in here. Oh yes, of course, it was a leather worker, wasn't it, with the cauldron, right? Yeah, we will have to install them somewhere down here, and right now I think the trapdoors were closed in front of them because we've covered over the daylight sensors and they're not getting any daylight to them. Oh, have I missed a section of the floor there? I think I need to move that. That's the main reason I want to move the villagers right now, actually, is just to get to these areas of the floor that I didn't really want to adjust while the villagers were standing on top of these bits of like dirt and grass and stuff like that. So I think what we will do is bust out some minecart tracks and then grab them in a minecart and push them up into the positions up here where they're going to be spending the foreseeable future. We've got 2 librarians, a farmer, and a leather worker to move then. Right you are. Okay, you're the efficiency guy. The unbreaking guy is in there. Let me grab some rails, let me grab some minecarts, and we'll get it done. The whole reason I'm doing this with minecarts instead of just like placing a workstation and letting them pathfind to it is the pathfinding doesn't always take them upstairs, and so I have a feeling they might have trouble pathfinding to workstations if I put them up here. Once they're up here though, we might be able to take them out of the minecart and just let them roam around for a little bit. I am still slightly worried about zombies and pillagers spawning up here. I have, you know, torched the area as much as possible to prevent zombie spawns, and pillagers should not spawn in here if there is a lot of player-placed light around, but I have found those a bit of a menace lately, so I'm kind of just hedging my bets here and seeing what we can do. Now let's add in a rail there. Let's see if we can get this guy in the minecart first time, and yeah, he took a little bit of damage there. That's what I was worried about, but no worries. I think he'll be okay. Once he hits the powered rail there, he should make his way up there. Fantastic. Okay, so that's one guy down. Let's nudge him into position over here, and let's see if we can box him in just for safekeeping for the time being. And this is the Unbreaking 3 guy, so he is an expert. He's got all of his stuff unlocked. He definitely seems like a keeper. Got a couple of great trades for compasses and ink sacs as well. I definitely want this guy to be up and trading as soon as possible. So let's nudge him into position there, and let's add a lectern in front of him so that he can get back to refreshing his trades whenever he wants to. And a quick reminder for those of you guys who have forgotten, they will not need beds to be present in this trading hall in order to refresh their trades. Villagers really don't need beds for anything except breeding and producing iron golems. And right now, we don't want them to do either of those things in the villager trading hall. We already have a few iron golems that I dragged over from the iron farm, and as far as breeding goes, we have a lot of that going on over in the mountains already, and we don't really need more. So this guy now has his lectern. We'll do a little bit more work to box him in. I'm not going to worry too much about the zombie aspect of this for now. I think what we'll do is just create temporary boxes for him, maybe out of something different, maybe not out of cyan terracotta. And yeah, we'll make sure he's out of the minecart, but at least has a little bit of access to that lectern. And hopefully this should be okay, and we'll be able to start trading with these guys and bringing in a larger village population. There we go, he's got a little stall set up here now, and despite the fact that he's still in the minecart, he's actually managed to refresh his trades. So we have the ink sac trade back. That was the only one that I think was locked, but he could still be able to trade with us even if he was in the minecart, which is potentially good news, because that could mean if we keep him stationary using the minecart for the zombification to take effect, we can do a little bit more dynamic stuff back here and not have to rely on pushing them up and down with pistons all that much if we can potentially contain the zombie and make sure it knows which villager to go to. At least the villager won't be able to run away. That said, however, once you convert a zombie villager back into a zombie, or perhaps even when the zombie villager gets turned, it's not going to be in the minecart anymore, because they do leave the minecarts. So perhaps keeping the minecarts around for that process isn't such a good idea after all, and we should just make sure that he's not going to take any suffocation damage in the ceiling, and there we go, take him out of the minecart. So now we should be able to close this up, nice and easy. There we go, should be able to grab the minecart through the back wall here, and now this guy is all good to go, ready to trade with for the foreseeable future. Let's hope. Okay, let's get the other guys up in here, and then I think we're ready to call it a day for this episode. Wait a second, I forgot about this guy. I forgot about our friend in the netherrack box over here. I thought there was a villager in here, but I thought he didn't have trades. He was just one that had escaped. But no, of course, this is the Silk Touch guy who trades us for 1 emerald. That's fantastic trades. Okay, I'll make sure I come back for him in a couple of seconds. Alright then, these guys are all installed and all seem to be able to work just fine. I've taken them out of the minecarts. We've got the Silk Touch guy, we've got Unbreaking and Efficiency traders as well. And I can imagine this place just filling up with some more librarians. Now we have all of this stuff in place, we can start getting more villagers out of the zombification machine with better trades, and hopefully we should be able to populate this whole thing with librarians of our choosing. And then after that, I will get to work on some of these lower levels as well, perhaps even adding another level before we put the roof on this thing so that we can make sure all of the trades are represented here. I have about 13 booths per side right now, I think, so that's about 26 librarians total. We could probably fit in a couple more around the outside. I know we said we needed like over 30 potentially to have all of the book trades represented, but if you consider that this guy over here who trades Unbreaking also trades Impaling 5 rather, chances are we will be able to get a bunch of the other good trades out of some of the other villagers as well. So that is going to be it for this episode of the Minecraft Survival Guide. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.